Tensions between Apple and the European Union are rising once again. The American tech giant has warned it may withdraw certain products, features, and even entire services from the European market if Brussels does not ease its new Digital Markets Act, DMA. What is the Digital Markets Act? The DMA is a new European law designed to limit the power of so-called gatekeeper tech companies. This includes Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, ByteDance, and of course, Apple. The law requires these companies to open up their platforms, ensuring more competition and giving smaller firms a fair chance in the market. Consumers, in turn, should have more freedom of choice. For Apple, however, this strikes at the very core of its strategy. The company is known for its closed ecosystem, where hardware and software are tightly integrated. Many loyal customers choose Apple products for this seamless experience, but the EU argues it restricts competition. Example: delayed features. One clear example is Apple's highly anticipated live translation feature for its newest earbuds. Globally, it's one of Apple's most talked about innovations. But in Europe, the launch has been postponed. Why? Because under the DMA, Apple would be required to make the feature work with third-party apps as well. Apple argues this not only undermines its innovation but also threatens user privacy and security. In a statement, the company warned that translated conversations would no longer be guaranteed to remain private. Apple's arguments: Apple has long positioned itself as a champion of privacy. The company strictly controls which apps can enter its App Store, claiming this protects users from malware, scams, and excessive data collection. Legal and tech experts acknowledge there is truth to this, but critics also argue Apple is using privacy as a shield to protect its monopoly. By keeping everything locked inside its ecosystem, Apple maintains control and revenue. If forced to open up, the company risks losing both. The EU responds: the European Commission is standing firm. Officials have stated they have no intention of scrapping or weakening the DMA. In fact, they noted that Apple has challenged nearly every aspect of the law since its introduction. Earlier this year, Apple was fined €500 million for violating the DMA, accused of limiting app distribution to its own App Store. Apple has appealed the fine, but Brussels shows no sign of backing down. The bigger picture: Apple isn't alone in its criticism. Google and Meta have also spoken out against Europe's strict tech rules, particularly in the field of artificial intelligence. Even United States President Donald Trump has pressured Europe to soften its stance, claiming the laws unfairly target American companies. What's at stake? For Apple, the stakes are enormous. If it is forced to open its ecosystem, customers may no longer feel tied exclusively to Apple products. Someone with an Apple TV, for example, could just as easily connect a cheaper Acer or Lenovo laptop without losing functionality. That would cost Apple valuable market share and billions in revenue. On top of that, the company would need to invest heavily to redesign its systems to be compatible with third-party providers. Experts estimate this could cost Apple billions of dollars. Why the conflict escalates now? According to economists, the conflict has reached a boiling point because the DMA is now actively being enforced. For the first time, the EU has the legal tools and political will to fine major companies, and Apple has already felt the sting of a €500 million penalty. That's why Apple is now escalating the fight, taking it into the public arena. By warning that European consumers could lose access to new products and features, Apple is trying to put pressure not just on Brussels, but on the public as well. What does this mean for consumers? For now, most Apple products and services remain available in Europe. But the issue highlights a growing uncertainty. Innovative features like live translation may arrive later, or not at all. In the long term, this battle could mean fewer innovations, higher costs, or delayed rollouts for European users, depending on how Apple adapts. The coming months will be crucial. Will Apple follow through on its threats and pull products from the EU? Or will the company ultimately be forced to comply with Europe's stricter rules? One thing is certain: the outcome will not only shape Apple's future in Europe, but also set a global precedent for how governments regulate the world's largest tech companies.